Hard work's a thing of the past in Joe Biden's America. Under Democrats, we've turned into a bunch of lazy, entitled, snot-nosed brats. Except for me, of course. Americans are now working fewer hours than before the pandemic. It's thanks to a shift in attitudes towards work, with more people reevaluating their work-life balance. Our next generation of great Americans are embracing things like bare minimum Mondays, where people just ease into the work week by prioritizing self-care over productivity. They're also quiet quitting, where they just do enough to get by. Call me crazy, but it seems like this is the workforce you'd expect after years of liberal leaders brainwashing people into thinking they deserve everything without lifting a finger.
It's simply not fair. If you can make $1 million or $100 million, go at it. But pay your fair share.
We deserve to be able to retire with dignity and not bankruptcy.
We can't overlook the role that concentrated corporate power has played in creating the conditions for price gouging.
The American people know that we are being ripped off.
The poor work ethic showing up in Gen Z. It's forcing bosses all across the country to hire seniors instead of workers fresh out of school. Companies are now recruiting older Americans on the premise that age equals a better employee.
The phone has to be in their hand. They have to consistently look at it. I'm trying to get them to engage customers and, just be personable. Mm-hmm. So I think the older population, because cell phones are a newer thing, they never were brought up with it. Mm-hmm. And, it's refreshing. They start at 9, they get here at 10 too. Mm-hmm. They leave at 5, and if the store's busy, they'll put the extra time in without having to ask. It is something that I really wish I explored years ago.
Okay, Dana, I had never heard of, what do they call Mondays? Ease into work Mondays?
Bare minimum Mondays.
Bare minimum Mondays. What's wrong with a little self-care on a Monday morning?
I love Mondays. You get going. I love to wake up in the morning, get going, but that's me. I'm weird.
You're old, Dana.
Yeah, I'm old. That's true. So I just, in reading this, I read the statistics, I read all the articles, and I still feel like maybe this is not, I feel like it's overblown. So I reached out to several of my friends who are now working in different industries, and they're managing younger people and hiring younger people. And they said that before the pandemic and after the pandemic, the only thing that has changed a little bit on this front is you have work from home, and that has become a real challenge because it is hard to mentor or to make sure that people are getting the types of opportunities that they might have gotten before that whole phenomenon. They said that sometimes you'll have great workers and sometimes you don't. The social media issue is one that they said they're just going to have to live with because it's not going away. The other thing I believe that this younger generation is looking at, which is the government, and they want the government to do more for them. If they want that cradle to grave sort of socialism that they have in Europe, which if you look at the cost, look what's happening in France right now. You try to ask people to work to go from 62 to 64 in terms of the retirement age, and they absolutely freak out. So I do think that this is a little overblown. However, I am encouraged that there are people who are older that if they want to work, if they can get hired, I think that's great because they were some of the first to lose their jobs during COVID when a lot of companies used that as a reason to downsize. They lost their jobs, and many of them were not ready for retirement yet, and they are digging into their savings, having to maybe move in with family. They didn't want to do that. So hire anybody you can that does a lot of hard work.
Are we becoming France, Judge Janine?
I hope not. I can't imagine Americans objecting and burning places down because they're asked to hold off retirement till 64 from 62. I mean, it's really ridiculous. But I think we are becoming more like other countries. I think it's starting to level off a little bit. The whole idea of, Generation Z, being the laziest of all, and that's, what is it, 19 to 29 or something like that, the young ones. I mean, there are always exceptions to that. There are always people who are going to be self-motivated, self-initiated, who make a lot of money and who just, are people who want to work and succeed. One of the most important stats that I saw in this whole thing was that COVID changed a lot. People can say it hasn't, but COVID has changed a lot. And for workaholics, I include myself in that, are working 3 hours less in terms of, significant difference in terms of hours. High earners have decreased their hours by 1.5 hours. So there's like this trend. I mean, it's not a movement, but it's kind of a trend. And I think that, as with most things, people are starting to find a life-work balance. But I don't want to hear that you want to work from home, because the last person I spoke to who was working from home was at the gym. Oh, I signed on this morning, but I'm at the gym. I mean, that's a bunch of hogwash. And I found it very objectionable the way some of these hearings were conducted. And you have Bernie Sanders and everyone trashing billionaires. And I found a very, I thought, significant quote from, what's his name, Howard Schultz, who owns Starbucks. He says, the moniker of billionaire, let's just get to that, okay? I grew up in federally subsidized housing. My parents never owned a home. I came from nothing. I thought my entire life was based on the achievement of the American dream. Yes, I have billions now, but I earned it. No one gave it to me, and I share it constantly with the people of Starbucks. I mean, stop trashing these billionaires as somehow they didn't work for what they got.
No one gave it to you, Geraldo. You had to go out and take it.
True, I did take it. But, as I get older, Jesse, it's interesting. Now that I approach my 80th year, I just think that, you only live once, and I wonder if, I did too many little silly, little worky things. That I could have relaxed. I could have been on the boat. I could have been doing something.
What do you mean?
That's
like
how
meetings?
you got the boat.
I think that the thing about Gen Z, let's just take the kids for a second. Yesterday, you recall, we were talking about the most important, most consequential election of 2023, the Supreme Court in Wisconsin. That election was turned by the kids voting, kids coming out, voting, organizing. So I think that Dana's right. It is overblown, this whole notion that, these kids, they can't figure out life. They're lazy. They're going to get left behind. But on the kids recognizing that there's more to life than work, I think that maybe we have something to learn from them.
Greg has a very beautiful work-life balance.
That
I
is
admire
true.
it.
That is true.
I say that sarcastically. All you do is work.
That is true. That is true. What else?
What else is there?
I love young people, and I'm against generalities. I think there are all kinds of. I've had the hardest working young people, and I've also have slouches. So there's more than one variable of age. We just have this tendency of one generation looking at. This is what's hilarious, right? You always have one older generation that has to look at another one and say, they're different, they're going to hell. No, well, if they're going to hell, then it's your fault, boomers. Right? I blame the boomers because they're the ones that trashed any kind of traditional life, right? Whether it was marriage, whether it was religion, going to church, whether it was having a family. And then all of a sudden, you realize you have nothing to replace it with. So what do? You replace it with identity. Right? And where does identity bring you? Into some kind of tribal warfare where you're miserable all the time. Then you have the shutdown, COVID, which accelerates everything that was going to happen anyway, including your expiration date. If you were going to die in 2027, you died in 2022. That's what COVID did. COVID also caused a spike in drug addiction. That's worse than this. You should see the obesity epidemic among kids. Every video of kids fighting, they're fat. I mean, they're huge. It's scary how big they are. Kids are just plain huge. You have spikes in crime, suicide, spectacle shootings, tribalism, social media-inspired contagions that turn a confused young girl into a he-male killer. They're loaded up with drugs and hormones. It's a weird life. And what's missing? Meaning, purpose, and connection. You wonder why people can't sleep at night? It's because they're not doing anything worthwhile in the day, and it drives them crazy. You used to be able to go to sleep because you were exhausted. Now you can't sleep because you're thinking about, what am I doing? So I think that I had nothing really important to say, except that I think it's bigger than a few hours of not working. I think it's a larger issue. It's a larger issue about meaning in life. It is why Jordan Peterson is so popular among young men, right? It's why so many women are miserable. It's why women aren't happy with guys and why guys don't hang around with women. It's why pornography is so huge. All of this stuff is coming because of a loss of meaning and not, like you said, not being able to actually deal with people.
What about the 60s, though? Weren't that the 60s?
I don't know. I was 4.
But if you read history, it was a time of complete rejection of traditional values, experimentation, total self-involvement. And the world was going to hell in a handbasket. And guess what? The world recovered. And I think the same thing's going to happen now. I think social media has done a lot negative and positive.
All right. Geraldo defends the boomers. Way to go, Geraldo.
That's not,
I'm teasing.
I'm a pre-boomer.
Pre-boomer.
He's a proomer.
That's right.
He's a groomer.
Stop it. Now you've gone too
His
far.
mustache looks great.
It does look good. Is that the guy you bring over to the house to tweeze?
Elmer.
Elmer. Not everybody has an in-house barber. Coming
Especially
up,
just for a mustache.
Seriously, he brings the hedge clippers.
Very labor-intensive.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.